Assalamu alaikum students. How are you? I hope you all are good and safe at home. This is week 5 and your lecture number 2. We have started the chapter number 4, that is about the cells and the tissues. Today's topic: endocytosis, exocytosis and animals' tissues. Here are some objectives. We have to summarize the process of endocytosis and exocytosis and describe the major animal tissues and describe the structure and function of the epithelial, connective and the muscle tissue. First of all, we will discuss the endocytosis. Endocytosis is the process of the cellular ingestion of the bulky materials by the enfolding of the cell membrane. The two forms of the endocytosis are phagocytosis, it means cellular eating, and pinocytosis, it means cellular drinking. In phagocytosis, cell takes in solid material, while in pinocytosis, cell takes in the liquid in the form of the droplets. Here you can see the process of the endocytosis. These are the enfoldings of the cell membrane or plasma membrane. When the solid particles comes near the cell membrane, the cell folding forms and it engulfs the material inside the cell membrane. Then it comes inside the cell. And in pinocytosis, when the liquid material or liquid droplet come close to the cell membrane, it is also engulfed by the cell membrane and it is taken inside the cell. So we can conclude that endocytosis is the cell eating and cell drinking process. Here you can see very clearly when the bulky material comes in contact with the cell membrane, there is an invagination in the cell membrane. And when it comes inside this material come inside the cell, then this is taken up by the vacuole. As you know, the function of the vacuole is to store the extra materials, waste materials inside the cell. And then here you can see the process of exocytosis also. Again it touches the cell membrane and then it is expelled outside the cell. This is exocytosis. Endocytosis and exocytosis, both processes carry on side by side in the cell. Now we'll see the exocytosis definition. It is a process through which bulky materials are exported out of the cell or transported out of the cell. This process adds a new membrane which replaces the part of the cell membrane lost during the endocytosis. Here you can see the endocytosis versus exocytosis. Endocytosis means cell drinking and cell eating. It means cell is taking in material, and exocytosis, the cell is transporting the material out of the cell. Now we'll discuss the animal tissues. In bodies of the animals, there are 4 major categories of the tissues: epithelial tissues, connective tissue, muscle tissues and nervous tissue. First we will discuss the epithelial tissue. As the name indicates, the epithelial tissues are on the surface of the body and they are mostly the skin cells are epithelial cells. Epithelial tissues cover the outside of the body and lines organs and cavities. The cells in the tissue are very closely packed together, and this tissue has many types on the basis of the shapes of the cell as well as the number of the cell layers. So we can conclude that the epithelial cells are here to cover the mostly outside of the body cells and the inside organs and cavities. And epithelial cells has many types of tissues, and so on the basis of the number of the cells and the layer of the cells. Here in this diagram you can see squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium, and ciliated columnar epithelium. You can see in each cell there is a nucleus, and the structure of the cell is different in each epithelium. Like in the columnar epithelium, the cells are like column shapes, so it is named as. Now connective tissue. As the name indicates that the connective tissue connects the two things or many things involved with it. Connective tissue serves as the connecting function. It supports and binds other tissues. Unlike epithelial tissue, connective tissue has cells scattered throughout an extracellular matrix. Common example of this tissue are cartilage found around the ends of the bones, in external ear, nose, trachea, bone, and blood. So, students, blood is the major example of the connective tissue. It means blood is a type of tissue and its name is connective tissue. It can connect many functions each other. Here you can see the cartilage, bone cells, blood cells, adipose tissue. Adipose tissues are the part of the fats or fatty layer of the cells, and these all are the connective tissue, types of the connective tissue. Now come to the muscle tissue. Muscle tissues consist of the bundles of long cells called muscle fibers. It is the most abundant tissue in an animal. The cells of this tissue have an ability to contract and expand. There are three types of muscle tissues. We can say that muscle tissues are mostly abundant in the animals and human bodies, and they have ability to contract and relax in both forms. Here you can see skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. Smooth muscles are those muscles which are not in our own control, like heart beating, eye blinking. Here all these smooth muscles. Skeletal muscles are those muscles in which the activities are under our own control, like walking, moving, and all these. Cardiac muscles are the muscles of the heart. Now come to the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue forms a communication system and perform this task. This tissue is mainly composed of nerve cells or neurons, which are specialized to conduct the messages in the form of the nerve impulses. Nervous tissue is found in brain, spinal cord, and nerves. And students, you know, like the blood, the nerve cells, the neuron network is almost in the whole body. It is scattered almost in the whole body, in each and every minor part of the body. So we can say that nervous tissue forms a communication system, and this tissue is made up of neurons or nerve cells. Here you can see the neuron or the nerve cells. We have already studied about the neuron or the nerve cells, that its body, its all the shape. We have studied about this. Here you can see epithelial tissue, the picture of the human arm, and there are three types of tissues: epithelial tissues, muscle tissues, and nervous tissues. These all are in one arm. Muscle tissues are in the upper side of the arm, epithelial tissue are on the skin, and there is also the bone, there is also cartilage and blood. And what is this, students? Bone, cartilage, and blood. These are the connective tissue, types of the connective tissues or examples of the connective tissue. And nervous tissue, these are all scattered in the whole arm, and you can say that four types of the tissues are present in the human arm. Here is a video. You can see this, and your concept will be more clear about what after watching this video. Students, here is assignment. Write a note on exocytosis with the diagram. You can make a diagram from your PowerPoint slides or you can make it from your book, page number 75, 76. Describe the nervous tissue with the help of the diagram, and you have to submit your work before the next lecture. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz. Take care.